Honey, I Shrunk the Supercomputer. Yes, actually. I think I got us an episode title.
I think that is the title. I do know where that reference is from.
What is it from, besides that press release?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's a movie.
What movie? I don't know that one.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of iTunes Fan Podcast. And as always, I'm Teddy Macker from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf.
And Tabcat406 is not joining us because he's busy today, but which we know Tabby's not showing up in our episodes, and we might have to discuss some rescheduling. We are in the process of doing that.
We're working on it. We're trying to work on it. I mean, he's a busy guy at the moment. He's told me he's a bit busier than usual, dealing with he's in the process of trying to start a job, and so I know that's going to screw with his schedule a lot, and so it's just he's going through a bit of a transition in his life right now, and so just got to give him some time.
I mean, to be fair, we had to give both Alpha and Tabby three months, so that's why I had to go on hiatus last fall, and I mean, at least two of us are still able to carry on, so...
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the process of...
Speaking of which... I gotta pull up the notes. I forgot to do that.
Oh, yeah, we got...
Oops.
Oh, yeah, we got...
there they are. Yeah, I completely forgot to pull up the notes. Okay.
This first top...
Notes are up.
This next topic has to do with your 2019 Buick LaCrosse Essence and your loaner GMC Acadia.
Oh, we're doing this first.
Well, it's about one of us, so obviously, yeah.
Fair enough, I guess. Dude, I want to pull my hair out. I really want to pull my hair out.
Don't. That's very painful.
It is. That's how painful this process is going right now. We're at the end of day 3. I brought the car in Tuesday. We're at the end of day 3. They are still looking for codes. They're trying to find an error code. I'm like, guys, you're not gonna find one. I've already done it. I've already gone through the computer systems with the scan tool. I've already gone through the fuse box. You're not gonna find it. And this is day 3, and they're still trying to do it.
How stupid can these can the people at the dealership be?
This feels a lot like the wiring harness thing all over again. I'm not sure exactly if the problem is policy or if it's really is sheer lack of competence on the technician's part. Because if it's policy, well, then that's a problem with the whole dealership that needs to be addressed, because...
And possibly GM as a whole.
It could... Maybe GM. You're right. That is potential. I don't know if it is GM's policy when it comes to servicing their vehicles, but... I mean, here's the thing. Error codes can be helpful. Except, sometimes... You're just not going to get one. Sometimes Windows is going to error out and it's going to blue screen and it can't tell you why.
And the same thing goes with your car.
Yeah. Every now and then you're going to get an error that doesn't make sense. Because guess what? If something's wrong with the computer and the computer's erroring out, how can you expect that the error it's going to send you is going to be perfectly reasonable? if the thing that's spitting out the error is problematic. So, this is starting to turn into a nightmare. For the first 2 days, I was without a car. Well, not true. I've been driving the Yukon in tow haul mode because it's stuck in tow haul mode. Which is not helping the gas mileage on that thing. So, it was just this morning. I biked my way to the dealership. It's only a 20-minute bike ride for me. So, I biked my way to the dealership this morning. They gave me a loaner car. It is a 2025? Yeah, I think it's a 2025 GMC Acadia.
At least it's not terrain. So at least it's one better.
Honestly, I think I'd take the terrain over that. I think that car is even worse.
Please explain why it sucks, even though I have a feeling it's going to suck like like every SUV.
At least in the terrain, it didn't feel massive. The terrain at least didn't feel massive. Was it hard to see out of? Yes, although if I recall, side visibility was actually okay. The problem is forward visibility. It almost doesn't exist. And then the blind spots I had a problem with, but that was just my driving position. In the Acadia, it's worse. The hood is even taller, which actually, I sent a video in the group chat. I compared the height of the hood of the Acadia to the height of the hood in my dad's 2002 GMC Sierra 2500, a 3/4 ton pickup. Their hoods, I kid you not, are at identical height.
So in other words...
one of these vehicles has a 6-liter V8 under the hood. The other has a tiny 4-cylinder.
This is why I hate GM's SUVs so much. It's because most of them, they don't even...
The interesting thing, though, is Buicks do not have this problem. It's GMC and Chevrolet.
Doesn't
Buick, funny enough, does not have this problem.
Does Buick put V4 or 4 cylinders in any of their SUVs?
No, they shape the hood actually more appropriately.
Huh.
Yeah, they shape the hood so that way it's actually not as tall and not square and bulky and muscular because...
Even though it's not muscular...
we gotta market these as tough, off-roading, capable SUVs for tackling your gravel driveway!
Even though I call bull on that because, first of all, you're not tackling any tough off-roading tasks if you have a 4-cylinder...
Yeah, it's way too overstyled to the point where it is legit actually causing problems. Now, maybe if you're tall, like Teddy's height, how tall are you? Like 6'4" or something?
No, 6'1", 6'2", somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's tall. I'm short. I'm 5'8". Maybe that would make a difference. I don't know.
No,
but as someone who is vertically challenged, I do not appreciate tall hoods in vehicles. They are an absolute pain.
I mean, I've never driven one of those GMC Acadia. I've never driven a GMC Acadia, so I can't say for myself. But even I experienced that problem too when I drove my mom's Mercedes GLS 450, which is an SUV. Because the problem is that it's the same problem with every large vehicle that's higher off the ground, meaning that you can easily see further ahead because you're up higher. That's obvious, but you can't see directly what's in front of you, which is a massive problem.
Yep. And for someone who's vertically challenged like me, I can't see either. I can't see what's directly in front of me or what's far away out there because trying to get over this hood.
Yeah, have you?
And I mean, in theory, I could raise the seat. That's what everyone tells me, raise the seat.
Just so
but then that worsens my feeling of the ground. And I do want that feel. People say, oh, being disconnected. I want to feel disconnected from the road. Not me. I want to feel that road. I want to feel how that car is behaving on pavement. And this super tall hood, king of the road.
It doesn't make you feel
like that. I feel like I'm driving an unstable boat every single time. And I actually did a quick comparison test between the Yukon and the Acadia. They are identical in size.
Isn't the Acadia supposed to be smaller?
Yes. They are now identical in... Oh, okay. The Yukon, for reference, is a 2004 Yukon. It's not a new Yukon. But that is the identical size of an 04 Yukon standard wheelbase. I have to say that because they offer the Yukon in 2 wheelbases. But... Oh, and the Acadia seats 1 less person than the Yukon.
How many people does the Acadia seat?
6.
That's not really that much more, given that it's such a big vehicle.
The Yukon will do 7, and if you actually configure the Yukon properly, you can do 8.
Yeah, somehow I don't think this Acadia is a very good value. Hopefully,
The only thing I can give it is gas mileage, but that's just a given. Newer cars tend to get better efficiency as technology improves, but other than that, it drives horridly. The engine sounds horrid. I mean, I got a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder in Stardust. It's not exciting or anything. It's not like you won't be blown away by it, but it at least sounds like a refined 4-cylinder. It does not sound that way in the Acadia at all. In fact, to my ear, with some of the frequencies it was ringing off, it almost sounded like a diesel.
Almost sounds like you should just drive a diesel. At that point. Not really, but...
No. So, yeah, honestly, I think I'd rather the Terrain. And that's saying something. Because, I wasn't a fan of the Terrain. At least from a driving dynamic standpoint. And general packaging. The tech and... the tech in the Terrain, and this is the case with the Acadia, it's pretty decent. It's hard to complain. In fact, actually, I'm surprised. The Acadia that I have is fairly base model, and yet it has things like a heated steering wheel and an all heads-up display.
Wow.
Yeah. So on one hand, the amount of equipment you're getting in the car, it's not bad. The problem is packaging. They massively overstyled it to the point where it's hard to drive. And it's just... It's the case with so many of these crossovers and all that. In fact, actually, I just noticed what you added in the text below us. There's one final thing I should add to note about these crossovers. My mom is officially swearing them off. Here's the reason why.
If only we could give each other a high... we could give each other a high five, but I'm sick right now anyway, so...
Yeah. But no, here's the reason why. We were bringing Zeus. We'll talk more about Zeus later. We were bringing Zeus to the shop, and on the way there, we passed an accident. A GMC Envoy, another crossover SUV thing, we found it flipped on its roof.
Aren't bigger vehicles supposed to not be damaged like that?
Here's how it happened. Took the corner too fast. And because he took the corner too fast in a vehicle with a higher center of gravity, it tipped.
I mean, yes,
that's the thing about these crossovers. I mean, well, the speed limit was 55. You could drive that fast, but the problem is if you're in a bigger vehicle, it's not safe to drive that fast. In my car, I could probably do 70 around that corner if I wanted to. And before I really start having problems. At that point, I'd probably just be breaking loose in terms of traction. But I wouldn't be flipping over. I'd just be losing wheel grip. But the problem with these bigger crossovers in these SUVs is, it's got to be SUV-like, so we need higher ground clearance. We need to give you the king of the road feel, so everything is taller. And when you do that, you lift the center of gravity on the car, and at that point, physics is going to do physics. Newton's law of motion, an object that is in motion tends to stay in motion. And then we got that law of inertia. Unless a force is acted upon it, that object wants to keep going in the same direction. And with the higher center of gravity, it is harder to change direction in these things swiftly. You have to slow down. It's gotten to the point where every new GM vehicle I see these days, when they deliver it, and especially the loaner cars too, they put a giant sticker on the visor that says, "Do not drive fast around corners. This vehicle is not meant to handle it." So that right there kicked off the conversation for that, and then that's really part two as of what reinforced it. What initially happened, part one of the whole crossovers flipping, we had a major accident on the highway a couple weeks ago. So it's a two lane each direction highway with the center lane. You know what? Let's go to a map. Pull up a map right now. I'll explain this. Let's go ahead and pull up a map. And I want you to search Dunkin' Donuts in Houghton, Michigan.
Okay. Hang on, let me get to search on the Mac. No.
It's right on M26.
M20.
By the canal.
By the canal, I'm not... Are you sure it's not in Hancock?
Nope, it's on the Houghton side of the canal.
Oh, right. I forgot M26 crosses. Okay,
Yep.
I know where that is.
Okay. So you see that highway there?
Yes. That's by the Upper Loop.
Yeah, it's right by the Upper Loop. So, yep. So on this highway, you get two lanes going east and north if you're heading to the bridge, and then you got the other two lanes heading southwest. In the middle is a center lane, so that way you can turn left if you need to. Well, someone was coming from the bridge and was trying to turn left into Dunkin'. The bridge at the moment was a bit backed up because the Upper Loop sucks. It's really difficult to get traffic through the Upper Loop. So what the people in the left lane heading north for the bridge someone there stopped to let this car through to get to Duncan. But the people heading east past the bridge, they didn't stop. They don't stop. They keep going. And when you got one lane stopping every other car behind you going north, which everyone wants to go north, that because there's only one bridge to get to that island, and that's the bridge right there. So you can't see what's going on in the right lane. And when that person stopped in the left lane to let that car go through, the car went through and somebody came in full speed in the right lane, and that car flipped over. It was sent flying in the air at least a couple 100 feet past the store. Landed on its roof. I drove by that accident and there were ambulances and fire trucks. It was bad. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because higher center of gravity, all it took was the weight of that car and that high center of gravity. That was enough to send it into the air, just like that. A lower car would have stopped right there, right then. If anything, it would have pushed the vehicle that it T-boned. But no, the crossover that hit it, it went flying through the air.
The crossover
after
or
impact.
the vehicle that was turning?
The crossover. It was a crossover that was coming down the road at 45 miles an hour. That was the speed limit. It came down, well, it used to be, but the problem is people still drive that because they changed it to something stupid slow. But
what did they change it to?
It's posted at 35, but nobody ever drives that road 35. Nobody does. So we kind of call it a 45, but it's technically 35, but nobody drives at 35. Nobody does. So, but yeah, the crossover that was driving down the road 45 miles an hour hit that car that was trying to turn into Duncan because, oh, the car in the left lane's let me through. Yay, nice. Which, oh yeah, if you see somebody trying to turn left coming from oncoming traffic, don't stop to let them through. Never, ever do that. You are asking for so much trouble. You just keep going. You may feel like a dick, you may feel unfortunate about that, but never stop to create a break in traffic just to let somebody through if you got more than one lane next to you. That is guaranteed to cause an accident. But yeah, there was 2 lessons to learn from that accident. Number 1, what I just said, you don't stop to let somebody turn when you're in a multi-lane highway like that. And number 2, don't drive a crossover, because if you hit something like that, you are going to be sent flying through the air and landing on the roof.
Which, the last I checked, is very likely going to be fatal.
I'm trying to remember how many ambulances were called to the scene. It was a scene. I was just randomly driving by there to go get lunch, and there's cop cars and ambulances and fire trucks everywhere. I thought a whole crime went down, but no, it was a major car accident. So, yeah, it's those 2 incidents that now has my mom completely swearing off crossovers. And honestly, I have to agree. They drive horridly to begin with. They are completely unoptimized for short people. And they really aren't as safe as you think.
Shall I move on to our next topic, though? Speaking of big vehicles.
Yep. Oh. I forgot to mention the final thing that led me to taking the car into the dealer.
Oh.
I got locked in my own car.
Oh, please explain that.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. The day before I took Stardust into her appointment, I come home from work. I put the car in park. The lock thing is still going crazy. Typically, when you put the car in park, it's supposed to unlock the doors. Well, unfortunately, it didn't unlock the doors. So I thought, okay, that's a bit concerning. I pushed the button, the electric button to unlock all the doors. It's still locking them. All right, the electronics in the car clearly aren't working. Can we manually try to do it? Except there's a slight problem. Now, who is it? Was it you or was it Talon who complained something about various locking switches where they twist or something like that? Okay, someone complained to me about it before, how they can easily break, those mechanical solutions can break. Well, let me tell you this, they are very handy when you're trying to escape a car that is having an electronic failure. Because I don't actually have any mechanical locking mechanism that I can interface with. The only way to lock the doors has to be done electronically. You can't mechanically lock the doors. It has to be done electronically. That's how the car's designed. But to unlock them, there is a mechanical backup. You pull the handle once, that unlocks the door, and then you pull it again, and then the door opens. That is the mechanical backup in case the electronics fail. The problem is when they fail in a way that they keep locking the doors every four times a second. That's not enough time for me to pull the handle twice and open the door. By the time I finish pulling it the first time, it instantly locks the door again and we're back to square one.
How long did it take for you to get out of the car?
What I ended up doing is I rolled down the window, I popped the trunk, I crawled out through the window, as awkward as that was. But that's how I got out. I go to the back of the car, and the reason why I popped the trunk is because that's where the battery is. It's in the trunk. I grabbed the 10mm wrench that I've been keeping with me when I was messing with the airbag, I never put the wrench away, so I grabbed the 10mm wrench that I had. I unplugged the battery, and I waited like a solid 10 minutes before I plugged the car back in. I wanted that thing to drain every last bit of power out of all of its systems. So after I did that, I plugged the battery back in. The locks stopped doing its thing. With the window still rolled down, I reach in for the inside handle because the doors are still locked, so the only way to unlock it now is to do the double pull from the inside. And I finished unlocking the car that way. So, but yeah, I got trapped in the car.
At least you were at home.
Yeah. So, yeah, at that point, I told them that because, yeah, the day after it happened, I brought the car in for service, so I told them, yeah, I got locked in the car. Luckily, their instant reaction was, oh, that's a safety hazard. Yeah, we're not going to give you this car back until it's properly dealt with. Which, one would hope that it would ensure and instill some confidence. It's just, I am very unimpressed so far with how, oh, we're trying to find the code, when, guys, it's not gonna spit one out. And with how this is functioning, I don't think it's a computer problem. I think there's an actual electrical issue going on in the car. I've given them plenty of other hints that, no, this is not a computer problem. This is an electrical problem. I told them about the heated steering wheel. I told them about my USB ports going nuts. I lost... Did I tell you about the USB ports only charging my phone for 5 seconds and then immediately shutting off?
I think you did.
I might have. I can never remember these details anymore. But clearly something electrical was going on. It did not make sense to be computer controlled. And yet, they're still looking for computer error codes. So, I am not thrilled with how they're handling this so far. If it gets to the point where by next week they still haven't found the problem, I'm going to demand the car back and go somewhere else. I mean, I still have my key to it, so I can technically take it back if I want to. But no, it's when you're 3 days in and you still haven't figured out this is not a computer problem, it does not instill confidence. It really does not. But anywho, that's enough with the Stardust and the loaner situation for now, at least. I'll still provide more updates as everything goes on, but that's all I have to explain for you right now. In terms of our next topic, which we're finally going to get to, it's another car enthusiast topic again. We will talk about Apple stuff. I promise you.
I was going to, but the next topic after this one, I should have put this first, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to put it in quite yet, but I'm putting that in next. That's next, so.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly bring this up because both Teddy and Tabby are really excited about this going on in the background. So, my dad is actually going to be featured in a YouTube video at some point. Not talking to you guys, but...
Wow, I'm surprised.
I know, I'm shocked too.
Doesn't like to be featured on camera.
And the reason why... It was 16 years ago, right around this time, when his late 70s Chevy K20, well, is it K20 or K30? Because it's a bit of a hodgepodge. I'm saying this the reason why I'm saying it's a hodgepodge is because he built the truck himself. But it was 16 years ago when the engine had a failure. The fuel injectors failed. And he never gotten around to fixing it because, well, he's got 2 kids. He has me and my sister. We just moved up here, and he's starting a new... Well, he already had the job, but he's trying to get income. He's being a dad. He's doing dad things, which means he doesn't have time to play with his own toys and fix up his own toys. But, 16 years ago, that truck basically sat at the edge of our yard. And it was just yesterday, as of recording, we attempted to pull it out how many times? But we pulled it out of its spot in the yard, which, given the weight of it, it's a 7,000-pound truck, by the way. It is not light. Like, the tires were basically sunk into the ground. That's how difficult it was to pull out. So, we got it pulled out, sketchily trailered it to the shop, and he's going to be rebuilding that truck to use as his personal truck. Well, and a company truck too, but yeah, he's rebuilding Zeus, and I'm gonna be filming some content on that. if anybody cares. Which, it's a late 70s, early 80s truck. I don't know the exact year because, again, it's a hodgepodge. He built it himself with various parts from that era. But he is going to be rebuilding it. He's already begun the process. It's at the shop now. The engine just had its blower removed, which, for reference, it's what does he have in that thing? It is a ridiculously sized 7.9 liter V8 with a big blower on it. Supercharged is what I mean. Do you have any idea how big that engine is compared to V8s in, like, does your mom's GLS have a V8 in it?
No,
or
it
is
has a
V6?
V6.
Okay. Well, the V8s that you typically get in Mercedes products, which is what you'll be familiar with, are around 4 liters. I think sometimes 5, but most of the time they're 4 liters.
Okay, yeah, your truck is a monster.
It's a 7.9 liter V8. That thing's huge. Yeah, there's a reason why it weighs about 7,000 pounds. Although probably a little less with how much it's rusted, but... Oh, that thing is going to be insane when it's fully rebuilt.
Are you sure he's going to be able to successfully rebuild it and that there aren't going to be other problems with it?
Oh, he is going to find some problems, but... I mean, the good news is... Parts, you think it's a 70... Well, the frame is 70s, the body is early 80s. So... You think that finding parts for vehicles of this vintage would be difficult, but he told me he can pick up all the body panels, like hood, fenders, everything, for about $2,500. And like these are in brand new condition. That is not bad at all, especially considering like if we were to take our cars in for body work. That would be how much it would cost for a body shop to replace one panel.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So yeah, on one hand, there are quite a few bits and pieces of the truck that is salvageable. The engine needs to be cleaned up, and so there's a lot of corrosion going on. But the engine needs to be cleaned up. The blower is going to be rebuilt. I believe the tranny, he said the tranny is still salvageable, which it's a 5-speed manual. So a lot of the mechanicals, I think, just need to be rebuilt. Though the frame is going to need to be replaced and the body itself is most likely going to need to be replaced. But and that's just what happens when you let an old truck like that sit for a decade and a half. And so, that thing is going to be a total hoot to drive.
And of course, isn't there... And of course, do you guys plan on building your mom's old purple truck?
Well, the thing is, that truck technically still runs. Well, every year we have to rebuild the carburetor in it, but... Actually, no, that truck does still run. In fact, it's our plow truck.
Oh, right. I knew one of your trucks was the plow truck.
Yeah, my mom's purple one. That one is still, well, it needs the carburetor rebuilt again. Because that's the thing with it. When it basically sits over a summer, you need to rebuild the carburetor effectively. You can't just you can't let these vehicles sit like that. You need to actively use them. And over the summer, Athena, that's the name of the purple truck. Athena does not get much use. But the winter time, because it's the plow truck, that's when she gets the most use. The biggest pain is just trying to start her in the cold. She does not like starting cold at all. In fact, most of the time, in order to start her, we have to pull the intake off and fire, it's called ether. We have to fire ether directly into the combustion chamber just to get it to start. But, no, that truck still runs. It's just not street legal.
How come it's not street legal?
There's some wonky wiring going on with the taillights. I don't know if that's corrosion or such like that.
Probably should be fixed.
And with the plow attached to it, it has significant power draw where it dims the lights to the point where it's below the legal limit. So
it's only legal.
There's that. I don't think the turn signals work. There's no illumination on the license plate. And we have tire chains on. We also have tire chains on it. Tire chains are illegal to drive on Michigan roads here.
Oh, I'm guessing it's only legal to have plow. I'm guessing can you use that truck to plow your driveway and such, or take that out in the winter to plow the roads there? Or...
Well, we'll back it out on the road to plow our driveway, but to actually like use it for driving like point A to point B, no, we can't do that like that. Because I mean it's not street legal to begin with, so but no, it's a. I drove the truck once. I've driven that truck once. It is very interesting to drive. 70s, 80s. I guess that truck is more 80s than 70s. It is interesting to drive a truck like that with no power steering, no power brakes. And then because it's a carburetor, you have a choke. You have a choke for the engine. So it's very interesting to drive a vehicle of that vintage. It's very interesting.
Indeed. But shall we move on to our next topic that's actually about Apple?
All right, yep. Enough about 80s oversized pickup trucks, which those things are massive. I'm terrified to drive them on the road. Either way, yeah. Let's move on to some Apple stuff, because boy, do we have a lot to talk about with that.
All right, so I talked about this in the last episode, which is why I wasn't sure about including it, which is why we didn't talk about it first, but I ordered my iPhone 17 Pro and Apple Watch Series 11. I managed to get those ordered. I can't get into how I managed to get them ordered because that's personal, but there's that. But I managed to get them ordered, and then I also managed to. Now I'm recording this on the day before I'm getting them, but I'm getting them tomorrow, September 19th. But I managed to get this case and screen protector charged. This time I'm going with ESR because Alpha said they were pretty good, and I'm getting privacy screen protectors this time.
Yeah. My dad switched to an ESR case too, and he's real happy with it.
And I got their Cyber Tough magnet case, which I'm hoping has a strengthened magnet, since I'm obviously not buying their Find My MagSafe wallet right now, but I do plan on getting one of those sometime just so I can have Find My integrated into my wallet, so that way if my wallet ever gets lost, I can.
Well, you want to know something interesting about the ESR case magnets?
They're stronger.
They include well, yeah, that too, but they include these magnets on Android phone cases too. So when I got my 16 Pro Max, my dad also upgraded his phone too. He's now rocking an S25 Plus. So, but when he did that, he also got an ESR case with the same magnetic ring. And what he did for both GMC trucks, the Yukon and the Sierra, the Hoopty as we call it, he got ESR vent mounts, and he'll mount his phone to the dash.
That's cool. My dad loves mounting his phones to his car too, but again, my dad is also allergic to new cars, and his 2016 M6 does not have CarPlay, so, which by the way, my dad actually did pay to get the transmission fixed in that thing, so he's not sure if he'll sell it now because
he did.
He's not sure if he'll sell it now because like my car, his M6 is approaching 100,000 miles. so he's not sure if he wants to keep it past that since that's when cars tend to drop a lot in value. But yeah, the M6 is back on the road.
That's awesome to hear.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Remind me, is that a manual or is that automatic?
It's automatic.
I don't remember.
It's automatic, but he is still going to sell
Okay.
the F-150.
Yeah. Well, yeah, good for him. He's got his M6 back. Yeah, good for him. But I forgot to mention that phone mount thing that my dad got for both the trucks. They also have built-in wireless chargers.
My dad's phone mount has that too.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another nice accessory that ESR sells. Now, I don't use it because I got CarPlay, and in order to use CarPlay, I have to plug my phone in. So, I don't need a wireless charger in the car. But, I mean, it is nice. When I drove the Yukon for the couple days before I got the loaner, I made use of that, and it was really handy. The only thing I wish that I could do was use Bluetooth and paired my phone to the car, except the car doesn't have Bluetooth because it's too old.
Except what car doesn't have Bluetooth? Oh, the Yukon.
The Yukon. Yeah, well, both the Yukon and the Sierra. The Yukon's 2004, the Sierra's 2002.
Yeah, that makes sense why your cars don't have Bluetooth. But those cars wouldn't. But my dad actually, I actually did an unboxing video years in 2021 about back in, then my dad's, now my Mercedes-Benz C300. My dad actually got phone mounts my dad regularly uses phone mounts because he likes to, his cars don't have CarPlay because my car has modified CarPlay. My dad likes to have his phone mounted.
Yeah.
Mounted so he can see all his content easily. While he's driving, but
it's real convenient when you can do that.
But he also doesn't want...
Anywho, we were talking about you ordered some stuff?
Oh yeah, I ordered cases, screen. We kind of butchered that topic to death, but basically I got my phone.
Oh, okay.
Phone ordered, got my Apple Watch ordered, got my case and screen. They were privacy screen protectors this time, so...
I found that I really didn't like those if I'm trying to show somebody something because you really have to look at them just right.
I mean, if I don't like them, I'll probably get a different one. But this is an experiment, really. But I tried to look for one of those cases with an ESR cases with an integrated screen protector, but I wasn't able to find one of those for the 17 Pro. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's odd. Because, mine has one built in to the case.
Wait a second.
That's odd.
Let me check. Yeah, mine does not include a screen protector.
Interesting.
Yep, that's...
Oh, well.
Shall we move on to our next topic about
Test
iOS?
that Ceramic Shield 2.0.
Yeah. Oh, Ceramic Shield 2.0 is a new feature.
So, I don't know if it was for this phone or the 17s, but I hear Ceramic Shield had received an update at some point.
I'll check that because this is a podcast, so it's easy to fact check information, learn more.
So yeah, I guess I better enjoy having... Oh wait, no. Tabby's gonna get his phone real soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I better enjoy having the latest phone on the show for
Ceramic Shield 2 is new.
One more day or something.
Yeah, Ceramic Shield 2 is a new feature on the 17.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yep.
Shall we move on to iOS
I don't know.
26 officially releasing?
Hold on a second. Sorry, my sister just texted me real quick. Okay, yeah, we can talk about OS 26, not just iOS. I mean OS, because literally everything got an update. Oh, I forgot to update the TV. Oops.
Oh yeah, I haven't updated any of my stuff yet, even including my Mac, which, from what you've stated, it sounds like a good thing for now.
So, iOS 26, I really like. For one, the bugs have been reduced to only one. I just have one bug, which is a heck of a lot better than the never-ending list of bugs I had with iOS 18. This bug is specifically with Bluetooth and the car. Now, I will admit, I don't know if it's the phone or if it's the car, because I've only actually paired it with the loaner car that I got. I never paired it with Stardust because I just plug it in and I get all the functionality I need out of CarPlay, so I just never paired it to Stardust. And the reason why I know it's a Bluetooth issue is because I have to turn Bluetooth off on this device and turn it back on again in order to reconnect it to the Acadia. So I don't know if it's the phone or the car, because I don't have this issue with my AirPods. In fact, actually, Bluetooth connectivity for my AirPods has dramatically improved. So I don't know what that deal is, but that is the only bug I'm experiencing.
That's
good.
It.
Other than that, I've tweeted this out on Twitter. Dude, iOS 26, that liquid glass, it really is eye candy. It looks so good. I do love the look of it. Now, I've stated before, in my WWDC recap, I did like the looks of liquid glass. I'm not arguing against that. I really did like it to begin with. The reason why I sounded upset about it was because you gotta have a structure before you can decorate it. And the structure was broken with iOS 18. So, in order to really impress me, you can't just try to code a shaky structure with pretty flowers and say, oh yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? It's like, no, you can't get around that. If the structure is breaking, falling apart, you're not, how can you be excited if it's got pretty flowers all over it? And that was my fear with iOS 26. From what I can tell, not only did they put a big focus on changing the design and the aesthetics, which is something that a lot of us have been complaining about for years. Maybe not me specifically. I've never really complained about the previous generation design. But to my surprise, and this is one of the biggest, most pleasant surprises that I've gotten from Apple in a long time, iOS 26 not only looks pretty, but I think they made some major changes to the structure, and those major changes are literally to improve its rigidity and function.
That's very cool.
So, I don't think you will be too displeased with iOS 26. Of course, it's going to be a jump. You're probably going to find at least one thing that they changed that you're going to disagree with.
Well, again, I'm jumping.
They changed the Photos app again.
Please tell me it. Yeah. Please tell me it's better. Please tell me it's better.
It actually is. It's a little improved. It's not as good as I'd personally like it to be, but they actually did improve it. Well, so I will show you.
Yeah, because I don't even like using the iOS 18 Photos app on. Let me grab it. My iPhone 12 mini.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta be careful because I have a picture of Tabby's face on my phone, and so I don't want that to be shown.
I have lots of personal photos on my phone, so.
But, okay, so here's the new collections thing. They've changed it, so they've broken it into two major views for your homepage. So you have your collections, which is what's displaying right now, and then with one button. Did I zoom out too far on this? What did I do? Oh, yep. Okay, my bad. I didn't have it set up right. Let's try this again. With one button, all of your recent photos.
That's handy.
So you want to see your recent? Oh, it's one tap, and that's it. And then if you want to see it broken into individual folders like collections or finding the trash, you can exit out of all of your recent photos. This was my biggest complaint. In order to find your recent photos, you'd have to scroll all the way up, and then to find everything else, you have to scroll all the way back down to the... It's a ton of scrolling. It was way too messy. It was way too cluttered. This cleans it up a lot. It's not perfect. It's not the best thing I've seen. I'd still prefer the before the iOS 18 photos redesign. That's still what I prefer, but this is much improved over that. So, yeah, they mostly fixed the Photos app. It's still not back to the way it was, which is what I prefer, but they've massively improved it. And everything else, they tried coming up with a few new layouts and like the phone app and a few other areas here and there. I just kept it on the default, which thankfully they still let you keep it on the default view. That's good. Because I really had no complaints with the default view of the phone app. It's like, honestly, it was perfect. You get 5 tabs, favorites, recents, contacts, dial pad, and voicemail.
Same. It's been like that since firmware 1.0.
It's perfect. Why fix what ain't broke? So they tried introducing a new method of viewing that stuff, but you can still keep the default view. The weirdest changes is just the relocation of the search bar. I'm used to just always scrolling to the top, and it's there. It's always at the top. But now they changed it where it's always at the bottom, taking up space, which I'm a little iffy on because it's like, what's always at the bottom of the phone? You know? Swiping to go home?
I know, it's such a stupid thing. It's like, first of all, in iOS 16, when I decided to make all the notifications on the bottom, that was stupid. Mm-hmm. And then they decided to make instead of at the top, like it used to be on iOS 15, which to all the young Generation Alpha kids watching, and to all apparently I have balloons on my video, and to all people of Generation Beta, yeah, that used to be a thing in iOS. But also, like, even the Safari search bar used to be at the top on iPhones.
I actually changed it to the bottom, and that's so that way I could get the similar swipe up to see all your tabs, that type of thing. I personally liked that, so I never complain about that. However, this will actually conveniently transition us to macOS 26, where this one I've got some major disagreements with. I got some real disagreements on some changes they made here for macOS 26.
Please explain.
So, like we mentioned, Safari, I was one of the people who used the compact tab view in Safari.
Makes sense.
Where it combined your URL bar. Yeah, that's what I do. It also allows you to display more content in the window. That's why I loved it. Because again, I'm king screen real estate here, and the reason why, well, to display more content, I want to fit more stuff on the screen, and if I don't want to fit more stuff, then I want to see it better. And so the fact that you need a dedicated space to display your URL, and then a dedicated space to display all your tabs. That, to me, that felt kind of silly, especially when the compact view came out. I'm like, that is a smart use of space. That is a smart use of screen real estate. No complaints with that. Except they got rid of that for macOS 26. It's gone.
I personally like the URL, the always having the URL view visible, so that way I can always change the URL of my tab like I sometimes do. But
well, it always was visible.
Oh,
it always was visible. The difference is there's a dedicated space for it, and here's all your tabs, and it combines the URL bar into the tab that you're currently on.
How stupid is this to eliminate Apple?
They got rid of that. I opened up Safari after the update, and I opened YouTube, and then I needed to create a separate tab, a Google search, because I was editing a video at the time. And then when I created a second tab, I noticed, wait, did it turn off my compact view? So I go into settings, and it's not there. I'm like, what the hell? And then eventually I go to the internet, I consult with Reddit, of all places, and it turns out, yeah, they actually removed it. There is no option to use compact view. That pisses me off.
I understand.
And then the other thing too, and they decided to change, you know, Launchpad, right?
Yes.
They changed that too. Now, if it wasn't for this one thing, I didn't mind them changing the UI and such, because obviously before it would take up your entire display with pages of apps. Okay, they wanted to change it to something more compact. That I don't have a problem with. The problem I have is now everything is not only in alphabetical order instead of in your own custom layout, but it's not just listing the apps on your Mac. It's listing the apps on all of your devices.
How stupid.
Let me grab the MacBook. Where's my bag? Oh, right there. I'll show you.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
Because, yeah, my MacBook is updated to macOS 26 too. So, let's minimize that because you guys don't need to see my messages. Oh, that's volume, not brightness. Okay. Here is the new app view thing. So the first thing it gives you is recent apps or suggestions. Then my next app is 8-Ball Pool. That is not an app installed on this computer. That is an app installed on my phone. What's the next one? Okay, that's Adobe. It's a bunch of Adobe stuff. Amazon. That is an app that is not installed on this computer. That is installed on my phone. Angry Birds. I haven't played that in years, but it's displaying on here. The Apple Store. What else do we have here that is definitely not a Mac app? Let me see. Scroll down. Discover. That is also an iOS app, not a macOS app. The eBay, Domino's, all of my charging apps. They're all cluttering this new page. So, well, yeah, I was going to open OBS. This was how I discovered it was actually doing this. I went to open OBS because that is not an app I typically keep in my dock. So I open up Launchpad, and then I noticed, wait a sec. Okay, it's in alphabetical order now, I guess, not recently installed. But okay, I guess they did that. But then as it kept scrolling, wait a sec. Why are these apps? What? And then I realized they're the apps on my phone. And now it takes forever to get to OBS without searching for it.
This is why I keep OBS in my dock. In fact, basically every app I use frequently, I keep in my dock. Including a lot of apps I don't use frequently.
Those are the two biggest offenders that I found with macOS Tahoe. Those are the two big offenders. Apple, you got to give me that compact view back in Safari. You got to. I am legit angry about that. And then the applications thing. Like, why is there no way to configure it? Why is there no way to tell it, don't show me apps on my phone? I don't want to see apps on my phone. If I want the apps on my phone, I'll go to the phone. Why are you showing me apps on my phone? And there's no way to have it filter that out. There's no filter settings. There's no arrangement settings. Basically just bring back Launchpad.
Exactly. For Launchpad, it's been basically the exact same since macOS Line, and it's been working fine for 14 years. Technically 15 if you count the
there are some
announcement.
things where... Yeah, there are times where this saying really does apply. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Apple Launchpad wasn't broke. It was not broke. You did not need to do anything. Oh, also they tried to pin some widgets to my desktop. I'm like, no. No,
Yeah,
we're not pinning widgets to my desktop. Get out of here.
Yeah,
So,
I don't like having widgets on the desktop either.
Yeah. At least you can remove them.
Yeah, that's like the first thing I have to do with Apple systems now.
Mm-hmm. But the no compact view in Safari and the deletion of Launchpad, they now just call it apps. It's like, no, they've made some functionality mistakes. It's not buggy. I will say it's at least not buggy, but from a functionality standpoint, did they make it much, much less user-friendly. So that's what I have to say on that. In terms of iPadOS 26, which I have updated the iPad, it tried to get me to use like that new macOS windowing system. I tried it for a quick second. It is terrible to use. For one, no Apple Pencil support. You have to use your finger to use it. And two, it's clunky.
Yeah.
It's just clunky. It don't feel natural. Because, is this a tablet or a laptop? Apple still hasn't figured this out. I mean, the window management is a nice change. At least you can do some form of window management, which it's not something I'm going to use. It might be something other iPad users might use. It's not something I'm going to use. So
yeah, it's not something
I just left it back
just because it's too bulky. It's too clunky.
Yeah, and it's like when you are relying on imprecise inputs like your fingers, then you want as much screen real estate possible to interact with your apps. And when you cram them down into small windows, it makes it a bit more challenging. So I just left it on the default, like the way the iPads have always been. No stage manager, no more window. I don't even know what they call it, window view, or I don't know. But no more of that either. I just kept it the same. Especially since I don't demand that much out of my iPad anyways to begin with. So, but yeah, that's. Oh, and I guess watchOS 26 is a thing. There is a bug with the Apple Watch. Sometimes you can't figure out what the app icons are supposed to be. So it literally leaves just the framework for where the apps are the icons are supposed to be displayed.
Apple, fix that.
Yeah. But notice, these are small bugs. These don't compare. These don't even compare to the bugs on iOS 18.
No, I don't.
I will gladly take these bugs, the iOS 26 bugs, over the iOS 18 bugs. It's just a shame that this phone could not get iOS 26. But that's pretty much all I have to say on the new software. So
I haven't updated to iOS 26 yet, although I will tomorrow once I get my iPhone 17 Pro set up, and then my Apple Watch. I'll have WatchOS 26 once I get my new Apple Watch set up, and then iPadOS 26 I'm updating to. macOS Tahoe I'm not sure if we'll update to or not, but I mean I will sometime, but just not right now. But
I wouldn't be in too much of a rush. Like that was an if I knew going into it that they were going to completely ruin my Safari experience and the Launchpad, if I knew that going in, I probably would have just stuck with what was it, Sequoia? Yeah. I probably would have stuck with Sequoia for just a little longer. Because the truth was, I had no Sequoia bugs.
Same.
So, I wouldn't have minded sticking with Sequoia for a little longer. I just would have made a big fuss on the internet saying... In fact, I'm going to raise the biggest stink possible to get that compact view back in Safari and to get Launchpad back. What they did to replace it, not acceptable. So... Because at least when they still had compact view, you had the option to leave it in the default way where the URL bar and your tabs were physically separate. But now they don't give you that option anymore. Now they force you to use that option where the URL bar and the tabs are physically separate from each other instead of combining them to free up space on the... Yeah. They don't give you that option anymore. And... I don't know. I like options. I've said this for a while. I do like it when the user has some choice, and
isn't that what iOS 26 is supposed to be about?
That's the theory, but yeah, if it's supposed to be about choice and customization or whatever, because my goodness, you can really. The iPhone really has never been as easy to customize as it ever has been. They give you a lot of options with customization on that now. But with the Mac, at least, they move backwards in that regards, and that just confuses me. But,
shall we move on to our next topic?
Yep, I think we butchered that one to death. So
that's another saying on the show.
What's next? Yeah, that's another common phrase we use. All right. Ooh, Luke Miani's in the news. What did he do?
Luke Miani, the YouTuber, is designing a Power Mac G4 Cube style plastic enclosure for the 2024 newer Mac Mini.
Interesting.
I mean, as much as I do like the design of the Power Mac G4 Cube, I don't have, even if I had a Mac Mini like that, I still wouldn't buy it just because it would make the compactness
I
of the
wouldn't
Mac.
either.
It's just a stupid little enclosure and make the more compact nature of the Mac Mini even more stupid, or no, not stupid, or redundant. So that's why I wouldn't buy it. But I'd much rather get a G4
I mean, it's
Cube.
an interesting concept nonetheless.
Yeah. To be fair, real G4
It is an
Cubes
interesting
cost so
concept.
much money.
That is true. They cost a stupid amount of money.
Have you looked up how much a G4 Cube costs?
Way more than it should. I'll just say that.
It only sold a few 100,000 units, though, so...
Yeah. I heard they were prone to having some cracked glass issues.
Oh, yes. They're also prone to have... when they were new, they were so prone to overheating, and they cost more than normal Power Mac G4s, which is how come they failed.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to sell you on the fact that it's an art piece, but I mean, if it's a Power Mac, then it's got to have the power.
Yeah.
And overheating does not scream power.
Exactly, but... Oh, did I tell you... Do you know what the slogan was for the Power Mac G4?
No, I do not know what that was.
Honey, I shrunk the supercomputer. Yes, actually. I think I got us an episode title.
I think that is the title for this. Oh, I do know where that reference is from. What
is it from, besides that press release?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's a movie.
What movie? I don't know that one.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
What? That's a movie?
It is. I watched it.
I shrunk the kids.
Yep.
Oh no.
It is an actual movie. That's why I laughed. I know where the reference is from.
Wait a second. The lead actor looks familiar.
Yeah,
the lead actor looks so familiar. I feel like I've seen him. I've seen that guy somewhere. Oh yeah, the little giant. It's Rick Moranis. Oh yeah, from Little Giants. Yeah, I've seen. Oh yeah, that's where I've seen him.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's where the context comes from.
Good to know, but
so
shall we move on to Bloomberg?
Yeah, this is some interesting news. It's a little outside of our sphere because we tend to focus more on Apple than tech in general, but this is a bit in relation to YouTube because their copyright system has been abused yet again. In fact, something that drives me nuts about YouTube and their copyright system, it's like, why do we just allow them to get away with this? Because, I mean, in U.S. court, you are assumed innocent until proven guilty. Am I right?
Yes.
In YouTube court, they don't specifically say this, but that's not how it works in YouTube court. In YouTube court, you are assumed guilty until you prove your innocence.
Which, if you're an American and because YouTube is a US-based company,
it's a bit interesting.
I mean, I got a copyright claim on one of my videos 3 years ago from reviewing explaining why I was ending my Fanboy Tech Haul series. I got copyright claim for that because I had to include a brief interjection of the where I used one of iMovie's C background thingy, C generators, because I had to use generators isn't is the right word, but I had to use one of those backgrounds because it was an interjection, I guess you should say. It was an interruption I had to make basically, but because of that, I got copyright claimed for that.
That is hilarious. I've been copyright claimed for something similar. Like, oh yeah, it was an iMovie sound effect. I got copyright claimed for an iMovie sound effect.
Yeah, I had to explain that was an
I went and disputed and said, this is a standard sound effect in iMovie. There is no way you can claim this.
Exactly. That's what.
So, yeah, I've had a stupid claim like that. The worst time I've been claimed was that
in 2022?
It was music related. Actually, no, it was this year. It was this year.
What was the...
something happened between The music service I use now is Artlist. You do have to pay a subscription for it to use their music, but they communicate with YouTube, and they handled the license agreement and all that. However, something went wrong, and YouTube did not recognize my license agreement with Artlist, and it claimed the video. They actually threatened to strike because I'm using copywritten music from Artlist, which if you pay Artlist, they will let you use it for free and as much as you want, as long as you have that subscription. And so that was a problem because it's like, I'm paying for this service. I have a license to use this music, but YouTube isn't recognizing it. So I had to dispute that and tell them that I have a subscription for the service, and you're going to need to... You need to talk to Artlist about this. And so thankfully that did get resolved. So I have no strikes or anything like that. But no, it was a recent video I made this year on the Drive channel, I believe. Yeah, it was a video on the Drive channel where I got copyright claimed for using music that I had a license to use. But speaking of which, the reason why we're bringing this up is because Bloomberg, of all media corporations, has decided to launch a false copyright strike against Gamers Nexus for reporting on the GPU black market. It was a 3-hour video. The video that they copyright claimed him on was a 3-hour video discussing the whole GPU black market thing going on.
What did they copyright him black for? Market thing?
Oh, just smuggling GPUs out of America to China and everywhere else.
Why is this going on?
Watch the documentary. I haven't watched it yet because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, same. I don't have that kind of time, but
no, it has to do with legal stuff. Tariffs and import fees and that type of stuff. So
wait a second,
because AI is the whole new craze. Well, what do we need for AI? We need them NVIDIA GPUs.
Wait a second. Are you sure this isn't about importing GPUs into the U.S. to avoid tariffs? Or are you sure it's not exporting?
I think it's both ways.
Oh, yeah, because I was about to say the importing would make more sense, and I mean, so would the exporting.
Yeah, I think it's both ways. But, again, watch the whole report. I've only made way 20 minutes in. But, anywho, you want to know what Bloomberg claimed was their content?
Please, explain.
It was a public speech of the president covered by multiple media outlets.
If it's public, then no one owns it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Since when do you own the copyright to someone else's speech?
What? Oh my god. This is such bull.
That's what they claimed him on. Although he did some more digging and he found that apparently Bloomberg once upon a time tried to make a report on the GPU black market, but they had a bit of a problem when it came to accuracy and getting their facts straight and all in order. And just general quality of the report wasn't that great. And as a result of the report not being so great, well, it wasn't doing so well. And Gamers Nexus report just, it was a much higher quality, because if you know anything about Steve Burke, my goodness, does he focus on details like you would not believe. He is one of the craziest detail hunters and fact checkers out there. He is obsessed about reporting the truth. And he does such a good job. while he focuses primarily on PC hardware, and that's not my primary space of interest, when he does report on things that relate to PC hardware but are on a larger scale, like when, what was the company? Artesian Builds went under due to some, well, shady corporate stuff going on, and same with EK water blocks, or the most controversial part when Gamers Nexus got involved, discussing Linus Tech Tips quality control problems. He was the one who broke the news, and my goodness, he knows where to get his facts from, because he wasn't really wrong about any of this stuff. And so, yeah, when it comes to reporting, he is amazing. So I am not shocked when his 3-hour-long GPU black market report was well outperforming Bloomberg's.
So, let me get this straight. Bloomberg got jealous of Steve because Steve decided to post the real truth while Bloomberg decided to post not exactly fake news, but shady news. And so Bloomberg
less accurate news, let's just say that,
has decided to, rather than to fix their actual reporting, they decided instead to use their money to go after Steve, what's his last name?
Burke.
Steve Burke, to try to boost their own review and make theirs seem like the truth.
Yeah, honestly, that did not go too well for them. Because, for one, after that strike was issued, well, Steve immediately disputed it. Because you can't own the rights to a president's speech. The only one who owns the rights to a president's speech is the president himself. It's his speech. He wrote it. So, yeah, it was obvious that he was legal to use this under fair use, so he immediately filed the dispute. But not only did he do that, he actually flew from North Carolina to New York to pay Bloomberg a visit. And they kicked him out immediately. The second they found out he was there, they told security, do not let this guy in our building.
Dang.
So, as far as I know, everyone else in the PC hardware space on YouTube is given a giant middle finger to Bloomberg right now, because what they did, if I recall, especially according to YouTube's terms of service, I think what Bloomberg actually did was technically illegal. Because if I recall, you can be charged for illegitimately using the copyright system.
Yes, it's like I don't know. Obviously, it's effectively the same deal as turning in a false report about a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same deal.
So, as far as I know, in terms of the YouTube aspect, Steve said that once he filed his dispute, YouTube has to get a response for more details from Bloomberg to inquire more about the content and such. Just getting details like that is basically Bloomberg had to officially file a lawsuit if they wanted to pursue him for that. Except, well, it's either that or the other option, which they basically just went radio silent. And they never spoke to YouTube again. And at that point, YouTube assumed, the Bloomberg is illegitimately using the system. So after 10 days of filing the dispute, Steve now has his video back up on Gamers Nexus, that 3-hour-long video. So he won that dispute. Though what happened in the background and we suspect is the real reason why Bloomberg is doing this. During this time of the dispute, obviously the video's down. No one can see it, which means, algorithmically speaking, hey, this video's not getting any attention. It's not getting any views. Well, guess we're not going to recommend this video anymore, which is not good for the monies or that sort of thing, or just general promotion of the video. Yeah, it's not good for Steve. And of course, in the meantime, while that video is down, guess whose report was starting to go back up in terms of views?
Bloomberg's.
Mm-hmm. So, where we're left right now is Steve is... He hasn't fully decided which, because it's basically him and a lawyer versus an entire mega corporation full of lawyers. Even though he has a very, very strong case to seek damages from Bloomberg. The problem is he's going to be battling lawyers who will delay and do everything in their power to make this process as painful for him as possible. So, as far as what we know right now, Steve is still debating if he really does want to go down that route, because ultimately what he wants to do is test out computer hardware and cover, well, most of the time cover companies doing shady things. And while it's actively going on and he's in the crosshairs, he's in the... Yeah, he's the target right now of someone else. There's other companies that he wants to focus on trying to bust that are negatively affecting the average consumer and not just him himself. So I can understand both of his reasonings for each decision. It's just, I don't know. Personally, I think somebody really needs to stick it to Bloomberg, because what they did is not okay.
And if Bloomberg and if Steve whatever his last name is,
Burke?
Steve Burke, yes.
Burke.
Sorry, that name is
yes.
That name sounds so simple it doesn't sound correct, but Steve Burke. If Steve Burke doesn't stick it to Bloomberg, then Bloomberg is just going to keep doing what they do to, like, they could possibly try to copyright claim one of us, or else if it sounds like if Bloomberg can do it to Steve from Gamers Nexus, they're going to try to do this for other creators. Like, they might be interested in doing that to Tech Altar, and this is one that's very realistic. Cold Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Because Cold Fusion does amazing, high quality documentaries.
And also, Cold Fusion is like we don't have to worry about this yet because we're not big enough really to go under Bloomberg's radar. But of course, it could happen to us too. But Cold Fusion is big enough where he does have to worry about going over under Bloomberg's radar.
Yeah.
And
it would be even harder for him to deal with it because he's not based in America.
No, he's based
in Australia.
He's based in Australia.
So that would make it even more difficult for him to go after Bloomberg. Because now it's an international entity he's dealing with.
And also, I don't know what Australians' laws of the press are.
I don't know either.
Especially given that they tried to check everybody's age.
Yeah,
just a year or so ago.
Yeah, there's that. But I mean, in my honest opinion, knowing what Steve has done to unveil the truth behind so many companies that had some shady stuff going on, and knowing what he's capable of and some resources that he does have available, like, it's not just him and his lawyer that he'll consult with on the occasion. He's also got other friends who are willing to support him and stick up for him. Like, Louis Rossman is one of his best friends. Well, I won't say best, but they have great communications with each other in regards to consumer advocacy. That's why they're both such great friends, because they fight for the consumer. And Lewis does have more experience dealing with government officials and lawyers and this type of stuff. He has more experience.
Isn't Louis Rossmann one of the big leaders in right to repair?
He is. He is.
Like, Louis Rossmann is a guy that, influenced the U.S. a little bit, but we know Louis Rossmann is indirectly... Or Louis Rossmann is American, right?
Yeah, he's American.
We know he's also probably influenced in the EU. Sadly.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, Steve does have good resources at his hand if he were to go through. And for me, I would love for him to actually try to put a dent into this control that Bloomberg has over the media. Because, for one, if their quality's not good, then why do we let them inform us? And for two, if they're trying to censor the truth, that's what they did effectively. If they're actually actively censoring the truth, trying to hide it from us for their own personal gain, then there's a problem here that needs to be dealt with. We cannot let them stay in business if that's the case. So, if I had Steve's personal number, I don't. I would give him a call and tell him, you're smart, you know what you're doing, you have good people at your side who are willing to stick by you. I'm sure I'm sure you could sue Bloomberg. Receive the proper amount of money you got in damages, because ultimately that's a lot of money lost from such that they have never spent more money on a report than what they just did. And to fix this, I've had the video playing on my phone, completely mute, so I'm not listening to it, but I have it going on my phone just to try to get the algorithm to pick it back up again, because it's 10 days of no views. That's really bad. That's really bad. So, one of the craziest things did happen, though, over the course of that. For two crazy things happened. One, his crowdfunding surpassed over $1 million on that project.
Wow.
And that was after Bloomberg shut it down. That was how much people cared about this whole thing. And then two, apparently he somehow managed to buy every single 128 gig flash drive from Micro Center across America.
Why did he do that?
Because he had no idea if the video was ever going to come back, what he decided to do is, just especially when he received over $1 million in funding after this whole thing, he decided he's going to put the raw video file, uncompressed, on that drive and mail it to anyone who asked for it. As a thank you for everyone who supported him. Like, I think the fund was initially at close to like $100,000, if I recall, somewhere around there, and then it surpassed to $1 million after Bloomberg shut them down. That's insane. So, yeah, he's got the connections, he's got the following, he's got the resources. I hope he does go after Bloomberg and show them what true reporting actually is. So, yeah, that's an interesting story. I thought I'd throw that out there. Oh, and also, screw you, Bloomberg. I'd use a different word, but I'm trying to keep this episode from being explicit. All right, that's all I have to say on that. What do we have left?
All right, hang on. I was just looking up Gamers Texas YouTube channel, but Google Play is now mandating the developers let users change colors of app icons.
Okay.
I personally think it's stupid for reasons I've already gone into, which is that I like my apps being different colors so I can easily locate them, but
Yeah, that's true.
and also this is Google Play, so there's so many apps that have to be optimized for this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I really don't know. It just, app stores are a mess now. Thank you, Epic. Like, we really ask for your input. All right.
Shall I move on to
Tiny vinyl.
So, you know what CD singles are, right?
CD singles, yeah.
So, how they're smaller. Well,
Hey!
what?
Hold on. Yeah. I accidentally triggered my HomePod. I didn't want it to start playing music. All right.
So, the idea...
Okay, yeah.
The idea of tiny vinyl is to be like how CD singles are smaller because they only fit one song, whereas because more artists these days are releasing singles instead of albums, which I personally rather wait for an album. But again, I mostly listen to older music, so I guess I'm the weird guy on that one. But tiny vinyl.
You're not the only one. Hey, you're not the only one.
I know I'm not the only one, but tiny.
What do you think I listen to?
But tiny vinyl is their record is intended for one song per side.
There's been a weird trend of everyone dying to go back to vinyl for something.
There's a reason we advanced to personally the best physical music format in my opinion is slot music, but that didn't survive very long. But the best physical music format in my opinion that actually did survive, and by the way, is very easy to get music on, is the compact disc. For me,
it's the iPod.
I mean that too. I'm talking like if you want.
And the reason why I'm saying the iPod is because those discs can deteriorate over time, and then the players, the CD players take up space, a lot more space than this.
Yeah, well, saying that's what I mean. Buying you okay, and that if you want to own your own music, in my opinion, buying music on iTunes is the best option. But
yeah,
records, they have issues. You have to press down on them, and you have to make sure not to. Which, of course, if you buy cheap record players, then they can easily wear down your records.
It's not only that, it's just also, it's an old format that's only been able to capture so much detail. And while, I was told the reason why they want to go back to vinyl is, remember when you mentioned to me auto-tune? You didn't like how Rascal Flatts' latest song, I
dare.
I don't want to call them backup singers.
That was the Jonas Brothers were the ones that auto-tuned. It wasn't the Rascal Flatts. I believe it was the Jonas Brothers that did the auto-tune. Which, first of all,
okay.
Also, why are the Jonas Brothers on a country
you.
Song? That's a whole nother side tangent, but
but no, I mean it's a problem with a lot of music these days. Auto-tune is used a lot, especially in pop music. I really don't know the exact name of that type of voice style, but have you watched Trolls by chance? Just asking.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the Guy Diamond troll by chance?
That Justin Timberlake did the voice of that, right?
That was Branch.
Okay, I haven't seen Trolls since second grade, so
I mean, fair enough. The only reason why I know is because
2017.
I have a 7-year-old sister, so I watch this stuff on the occasion with her. But the Guy Diamond, that type of voice, where it's perfectly in tune, and it's just. It's terrible. I agree with the community on that. The auto-tune is terrible. Yes, it's kind of hard to put auto-tune onto a record back in the old days. But, I mean, these days you probably could put auto-tune on a record by recording music directly from a computer, recording it into the record, instead of the old-fashioned way where before auto-tune even existed. It's just... What you're looking for is not the vinyl. That's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is music without auto-tune. And that, I don't know how to help you. But vinyl ain't the answer.
Exactly. For also, vinyl is digital, as they've been recording. People claim that music is pure. Music is more pure when it's analog, even though artists have directly said that it's more pure when it's digital. But also, here's another problem that Alpha is not going to have this problem because you don't listen to 2000s rock music and 2000s alternative music.
Yeah, the only type of rock music I listen to is like 70s, 80s, maybe 90s.
Yeah, stuff that's far older, but like from 1999 to 2011, there was a loudness war when basically, well, you listen to 2000s rock alternative with Tap, you should understand what I'm talking about. How it is inherently loud, because that.
I don't know. It's awful. Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, I personally like that style of music, but that's just because music is subjective. But also I grew up with that music because my.
You
dad,
like the shouting?
Yes, Okay, to be fair, my dad listens to some 2000s alternative, and he's big on 2000s metal, so that's where that interest comes from.
I can't stand the shouting. It's just, to me, it's making noise just for the sake of making noise.
But either way, getting back on topic, the auto-tune is a big part of the 2000s rock and alternative music, or it's just like that style of music cannot be easily replicated on records, so that's a big problem because a lot of music enthusiasts like to listen to that age because it's the last 2000s is really the last decade that music tried to sound original before everything started sounding the same. And well, I guess pop music always kind of sound the same.
Yeah, it does. I guess the real solution you're looking for then is you got to start listening to older music, not on older formats, but because like you can find a lot of older music on iTunes.
Oh
or Spotify, wherever you listen to.
If you look at my Apple Music library, okay, these are the release dates of all the songs: "Accidental in Love," "Counting Crows," 2004, "Addicted," "Simple Plan," 2002, "Africa," "Toto," 1980s, "After the Party," "Messengers," 2017, "All Again," Charles Wesley Godwin, 2023, "All Kinds of Time," Fountains of Wayne, 2003, "All Star," Smash Mouth, 99, "All Summer Long," Kid Rock, 2007 or 8, one of those years. You get the point.
Yeah, let's see what I got. For me, I got the Beatles. I gotta scroll down a bit.
I'll show you mine.
Casting Crowns. I don't think they're that old though.
The what?
Clay Walker, Clint Black.
Oh, you got Clay Walker?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Elton John.
I have some of his songs.
Garth Brooks, Gary Allan, George Strait.
I've got George Strait. I haven't really listened to Gary Allan yet. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But Garth Brooks. Last I checked, his music
John
wasn't.
Lennon.
I don't listen to any John Lennon stuff.
Kenny Chesney.
Oh yeah, I got lots of Kenny. I got several Kenny Chesney songs.
Mark Wills, Men at Work.
Oh, what's
Michael M.W.
Please.
Michael W. Swift.
I don't know Michael W. Swift.
Huh?
I don't know Michael W. Swift, but by Men at Work, do you have Down Under?
I do have Down Under. I have the whole Business as Usual album.
Yes, Down Under.
Yep. I got the whole album.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. It's that and Who Can It Be Now?
I hate that song.
Oh, you hate that? I like it. I like
I
that
hate
song.
that.
So, yep. What else do I have? Paul Simon,
I don't have any of his songs. Yeah, I might add some of his songs though.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, I might add their songs. I don't know.
Tim McGraw's got some old stuff too. Tom
Yes.
Petty.
Oh yeah, I got oh I got Free Fallin' and with the Heartbreakers I got Free Fallin', Run Down Dream, and then with the Heartbreakers I got American Girl.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I can think of at the moment. But yeah, I think what you guys are just looking for is just older music. Because believe me, I hate the modern stuff. I do. It's all pop crap that's digital and fake, and it's just...
Exactly. It all sounds the same.
Because, I mean, you brought up the argument of how some artists are like, oh, it's not analog music, or... What was it? Analog versus digital? That you said?
Yes.
No, what did you say? What was the quote?
Oh, so the problem is that a lot of people like to go buy records because they think they're analog, when in reality records have been recorded digitally for 40 years, or like since 1980.
Oh, yeah.
And furthermore, artists find that digital music is actually more pure than analog.
That's it, pure. They couldn't be more wrong. I'm sorry. And I say this as an artist.
Wait a second. You're saying that analog is more pure than digital?
I mean, when it comes to making sound. When it comes to playback performance, yeah, you want digital. Well, ultimately, it will be translated to analog because speakers don't work digitally. They need an actual analog signal to function. But that's how speakers mechanically work. They need an analog signal. But when it comes to like recording sounds, never record stuff with the digital. It's... I'm not a fan of synths. I'm not a fan of overdrive on guitars. And I have a hard time finding digital pianos that I actually like playing.
Oh.
Be it
Oh,
the
wait a
keys
sec.
not being weighted properly.
Oh, wait a second. I guess there is one major thing I need to point out about the digital versus analog argument that I forgot to mention that is actually quite important in your argument. By the analog versus digital argument, I think they're referring to the storage mediums where you store the recordings on.
Yes, they are right. When it comes to storing it, digital really is superior.
Because obviously they didn't really have digital pianos, and I mean synths did sort of exist in the early 1980s, but they didn't take. I don't think they took off until later, but in that decade. But yeah, but I'm referring more to the way they physically record
to the storage format. And yeah, that is right, because analog stuff can physically degrade. Digital is just numbers and data. As long as you don't lose any of those numbers, which it doesn't really happen all that much, then in that case, you're never really losing any bit of it. And at that point, it's just a matter of the hardware that is reading that digital signal that will determine it from there. But no, they are absolutely right on that. When it comes to storing your music, digital really is the best way to go if you're concerned about the quality of your music, because analog media like vinyl records, or I kind of consider CDs in that same area, even though it's probably a little different, but vinyl will degrade, CDs will degrade. But numbers, they don't degrade. Numbers are numbers. So, yeah, they are absolutely right on that. If you want to store your media and keep it in the best format possible, you do want digital. When it comes to recording, though, give me the most analog instruments you can. I'm not talking like recording instruments. I mean like sound production instruments.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I hate digital sound. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
shall we move on to our next topic?
Yep.
So YouTube now supports language audio tracks. So in other words, if you want to, let's say there's a video in Spanish that you want to watch, but you can have it translated into English with the subtitles, and it will actually give you an audio transcript of it.
I have mixed feelings on that.
Same, because for one thing, you know it's not going to be accurate, and the most accurate, but also number two, this is going to sound unbelievably racist, but I'm sorry, I have to point this out. What drives me nuts, and luckily YouTube Studio has fixed this by including a simple translate option, but what drives me nuts is whenever commenters, because they turn on subtitles, even if they don't speak English, they turn on subtitles for my videos, and they do this for my tutorials oftentimes, when they'll put them in English subtitles and then follow them. But then when they go to comment...
Oh, is it accents?
Nope. It's not accents. When they go to comment, they'll then comment in their native language, obviously, because that's where their keyboard is. This drives me nuts because, first of all, the translation is also going to give me an error. And also, don't these people think... Yeah. Can't these people try to find tutorials in their own native language? Because, I'm sorry, I don't go to look for tutorials, and I don't try to translate tutorials from other languages because I'm not profligate enough in any other languages.
Ultimately, so it's not the commenter's fault. It's not the commenter's fault if they can't write, or because there is a difference between being able to speak a language and write a language.
Exactly. If the tutorial's in English, then you should assume that the person is only capable of writing and speaking English. The same thing goes for Spanish. I mean, because Spanish is a common one I get. I mean, sometimes
I'm wondering though if they actually do think. I actually wonder though if they do think, because I mean, the feature does exist. I'm wondering if they're just going to assume that Google will translate it for them.
That's probably what they're assuming. Which, I mean, okay, I can usually work around it, but at the same time, that just drives...
On one hand, I don't really blame them for that. Language barrier is frustrating on both ends. Believe me, I know. So, I wouldn't put the blame on the viewers' end. It's just an inconvenient thing that that we speak different languages.
Yeah.
Okay.
But luckily, YouTube has fixed this.
It's not really anybody's fault.
So there's that. But do you have anything more to say about the audio tracks? I mean, that's cool, I guess, but a little kind of inaccurate. But shall we move on to our next topic now?
Supposedly Elon Musk is no longer the world's richest. Isn't that because he just dumped a bunch of money in the stock?
Yes, I believe it's something related to that. But Larry Ellison, the founder of
the
founder and CEO of Oracle, has now surpassed Elon Musk as the world's richest person that publicly posts their net worth. Because remember, there could be rich people out there who just don't publicly post their net worth.
Yeah. Although assigning a monetary value to a person like that, it's just... Honestly, net worth means absolutely nothing to me. Especially these days where... I mean, in a perfect world, net worth would mean you really succeeded in doing something good and amazing. But these days...
It just really explains how much power you have. A lot of times.
A lot of it now is, oh, this is how well I cheated the system.
Exactly. And that's how you get rich.
So,
and that's how you cross the poverty line.
When it comes to
partially,
yeah. I really don't like putting net. I don't like using net worth as a characteristic for people because it's ultimate. I judge people based on character, not net worth. That's just what I do. It's like that's why I absolutely despise Mark Zuckerberg. Sure, he may be one of the richest people in the world, which some people go gaga for, aspire to be that, I guess. But I'm sorry, his character, there is nothing to be impressed with in terms of his character.
He didn't even found Facebook. He literally locked the founders out of their accounts and basically took over the company that way.
Yeah, there's nothing to be impressed with about the guy.
He just knows how to hack.
And all that money he's made,
hack accounts.
He cheated the system. Yeah, he cheated the system. That's all. That's all it's about. Money these days is almost meaningless. It's all now just how well can you cheat the system? How well can you screw the other player?
Aren't you referring to having a large surplus of money? Because I mean, you gotta have money in order to. You gotta have some money in order to be financially stable.
True, it's just even these days, like, I'm worried I'm going to get absolutely hosed on this repair. I don't know. At the rate this is moving, you know what? That accidental mistake you made about me saying a potential $10,000 repair? I don't know. At the rate this is going. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to get insurance involved. I can't pay that type of bill.
That's probably what... Maybe GM's doing this on purpose to try to rack up the repair bills.
The reason why... I mean, for one, nobody wants to tear into the car. Like, why do you think they're still looking for a code? It's because nobody wants to tear into that car. And I've described to you how many times how difficult it is to get into that thing. And how difficult of a repair job it is.
They could have already been done by now. If they... In
they
3
could
days'
have.
time. And you could have had your normal car
And the only
back.
reason why... Yeah. The only reason why it is this difficult is because these engineers need to justify their jobs.
Exactly. There are some people who just do it's like people at various businesses and whatnot that just do a little bit of work to feel like they're justified, but they don't actually do anything meaningful, and that's going down a whole nother rabbit hole. But I mean, here's something I want to say to those GM mechanics.
Just so you know, GM's not the only guilty culprit.
Oh no, I know many of them are, but here's something I should say to the mechanics if they're watching this episode of the podcast. Once you start, you're a lot closer to being finished. In other words, even though it might take a while to get done, at least you've started. So they're already partially complete. There's some people that have trouble remembering that, including myself in the past.
I love this quote that my dad uses he told this to me when I was really little, and it is a good quote that sometimes you need to repeat when you're stuck in the middle of a job you really don't want to be doing. He always told me, how do you do a big job? You just take a little bit at a time. But no, a lot of what's going on in that regard is they're engineers just trying to justify their jobs.
Like by engineers,
and you can
mean
tell
mechanics?
to pull the fuse box off. It's this complicated lever system instead of what could have simply been a single plastic clip. Okay, maybe because the whole cover's removable. Okay, 2 plastic clips. That's all it needed. You didn't need any of this complicated position this lever here and pull here and
for an American car. That's
doing
bull.
Yeah. Or there's no need to attach a fuse box to the positive terminal of a battery. It's stupid things like that.
I know German car makers are not no. I know German car makers aren't exactly known for their cars being repairable, but even they make their cars more repairable. It's just that repairing German cars costs a fortune.
Well, you'll also get some weird engineers like, not to pick on Mercedes, but
Okay.
Mercedes had an interesting engineering choice.
With the charging port, yes.
No, not that. I'm talking like I don't remember the vintage of the car, but they came up with a concept for a suspension design where their problem was the drive axle was interfering with the spring, the suspension spring, the coil spring. You know that thing?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
So, do you want to know how they chose to get around that? Did they change the layout of the engine positioning or the coil suspension positioning to fix the interference issue? No. What they did was, in the middle of the spring, they elongated the gap in one section just enough to fit the drive shaft through. That was a bad decision. Because they elongated the gap, there's now a weak point on that spring. And guess what broke a lot?
That spring.
Yep. And the painful part is they did it for years.
Oh.
They used the same bad design for years. So, yeah, GM's not the only one guilty of bad engineering. Honestly, every company is.
Oh yeah, that's just car companies.
So.
But shall I move on to our next topic, because we only have less than 15 minutes left, and we have two more topics.
The Chinese are involved this time. Yay, lovely. What is it?
So the Chinese government is looking to ban Tesla-style electronic door handles because they want all door handles to have mechanical options.
They do?
Oh no, they want to completely ban the electronic door handles to make them only mechanical.
That's an interesting choice on their part. I mean, Teslas do have mechanical doors.
So, but they won't be allowed to have the electronic ones.
That's going to be interesting how Tesla tackles that, because
they're going to have to make significant regional differences in manufacturing.
Honestly, that might force them to have to add window frames. Because you know how the doors on Teslas are frameless?
Oh my... That's going to be so expensive on Tesla's part. In a market...
Because right now, in order to open the door, they have to drop the window slightly to break the seal so you can open the door. Otherwise, if you were to mechanically open it without dropping that window, it will actually damage the seals and the trim. And the window. So, in part, they need that electronic function.
Welp, welcome to the Chinese government, but do you have anything more to say about that, or shall we move on to our final topic?
I mean, I will clarify, Teslas do have a mechanical solution.
I figured.
They primarily function as electronic, but there is a mechanical way to open up the door. Actually, some people Some people find the mechanical solution more obvious than the electronic. Some people don't recognize the electronic button you're supposed to push, and instead accidentally go for the emergency release because they actually put the emergency release in plain sight and don't label it as an emergency release. So people will often make the mistake thinking, oh, this is how you normally open the door, when it's not. And they damage the windows and the seals and the trim every single time.
Oh.
Because of it. Yeah. Yeah, I watched... Funny enough, when Gamers Nexus was making his update video, he brought up on how Bloomberg was also... not only did they try to stop Gamers Nexus from using Bloomberg exclusive content, was not. Apparently, Bloomberg themselves also has a double standard because they've been using content from other creators without their permission. And not only did they attempt to credit them, they didn't even credit the creators properly. They credited someone else's name on top of it.
Oh.
Yeah. And what example did Steve use to show it? Apparently, Bloomberg stole a short from TeslaFlex. I happen to know that creator, not personally, but I know the creator. I saw this on Twitter, actually. Apparently, Bloomberg stole something from TeslaFlex, and what was it? It was a short discussing the whole electronic versus mechanical door release situation. Thought I'd point that out. It was a bit funny and interesting, but...
So wait a second. In college, if you don't cite your in high school and college, if you don't cite your essays, well, mainly college, if you don't cite your essays precisely in the MLA format, precisely, or even the APA format, like if you don't cite it in one of those, you'll get kicked out. But in other words, these Bloomberg can get away with this?
Yeah, Bloomberg stole TeslaFlex's short, and instead of citing TeslaFlex for the short, they put Consumer Reports' name on it instead. Consumer Reports never use that clip.
I think that's just an excuse to try to make Bloomberg seem more credible.
Yeah. And TeslaFlex, he's just he's real young like me. So I mean, maybe he's a few years older, but he's a young one himself. There is no way. What's his name? Brandon. There is no way Brandon can go against Bloomberg. He has no connections, no resources, no nothing to go against Bloomberg for stealing a short like that and miscrediting him.
That's truly sad.
Yeah. Which is why I'm still encouraging Steve to do this, because Steve does have the resources and the connections to actually put up a fight against Bloomberg's lawyers. But yeah, we've already covered that subject. So what's our final Chinese topic?
So,
robot vacuums, really?
So the Chinese robot vacuum maker Dreamy has announced an EV, and in their press photos, they decided to showcase AI-generated images of what looks like a Bugatti knockoff. So this may be a scam, in other words. This is supposed to be a luxury car, mind you. I think. Let me look it up for sure, but... Dreamy EV. Okay, this is from ScarCarscoops.com, but...
Yeah. Oh, I should have added a couple more topics on, but we're kind of...
Oh, it's going to be from...
loosely mention it.
It's going to be from either 38 to 83 grand. But what are those other two top? So yeah, okay, not great, but
BMW and Mercedes.
what are BMW and Mercedes doing?
Mercedes is a bit less exciting than BMW, but they've got some impressive competition coming. And I mean impressive. Like the BMW, for example, they've announced the iX3, which is a vehicle the exact same dimensions as a Model Y, maybe give or take half an inch or so. So it's got the sizing of a Model Y. It's got a larger battery. It's 109 kilowatt hours. Model Y has an 82 kilowatt hour pack. But that's not the biggest deal though. 400 kilowatt charging and a really juicy curve to go with it, according to BMW engineers.
Wow.
And the Mercedes does not have as impressive specs, but it's not too far off either.
Oh, what's their new car?
What was the name of it? I don't think it was the CLA. No, CLA was a sedan concept they came up with. Was it the GLC? It's the new GLC electric, I think. But what's impressive about both of these is they're going 800 volt architecture, which I like to see because that means better charging, typically at least. They're both coming to the US market with NACS. And yeah, the impressive part is their general architecture. They are completely revamping their architecture. BMW in particular, BMW used to brag about how many different ECUs we have to control everything. And now, I think they just knocked it down to 3 or 4. Something like that. So, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on in that regards. I want to make videos about it on the Drive channel. It's just... The performance on it is gonna suck. I can't get good views on the Drive channel anymore. I just can't. So, part of me is like, why waste the time and energy if no one's gonna watch it? No one wants to watch that channel anymore.
Well, it really depends on your passion. So,
yeah, but no, Mercedes and BMW, they got some exciting stuff coming. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for it to get here. Oh, did I also mention that despite that, the BMW is completely revamping its architecture and all of that. And, they're targeting a price of around $60,000.
Huh.
And that's for like a high spec model.
Oh.
Because a big problem with a lot of today's electric cars, they're too expensive. But, now, albeit, BMW is considered a luxury car here. And what I mean by luxury is just like, not economy car. BMW is a high-end, boutique-ish brand here in America. $60,000 for a nice spec iX3.
Not bad.
And the technology, a battery that'll charge 400 kilowatt and deep into the pack. It's got native NACS. It has a large battery too. It's a big battery, and yet $60,000 for a nicely spec'd model. That's actually pretty good pricing. For the type of brand that BMW is. Because previously you'd have to spend closer to the $100,000 mark, and yet now you can pick up a really nice spec BMW brand new for $60-ish thousand. I'm legit impressed. I don't know how not to be. Other than the steering wheel. The steering wheel that they came up with for that car sucks. It's terrible. But, I mean, no. BMW and Mercedes, they got stuff coming. So now we just need GM and Ford to up their game with their technology. They've got good sellers right now. The Mach-E and the Lightning are some of the best selling EVs here in the States. Along with GM. GM is moving electric vehicles like you'd not believe.
At least up
But
there.
their technology is kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get big battery packs in them. You get real good range out of GM cars in particular, because they just give you batteries upon batteries upon batteries, but they don't charge great. They still don't really have NACS just yet. I mean, they've got supercharger access, but no NACS, and I don't know. The technology is just a bit lackluster. So,
Exactly.
no, yeah, if Ford and GM really want to start competing, now's a good time to start investing in a proper EV architecture.
Exactly.
I mean,
but
yeah, well,
in other news, we're out of time,
Yeah.
so
oh my goodness, yeah, I'm exhausted, and no, I don't have the shop to myself tomorrow. Or do I? Wait, no, I have the shop to myself Monday. So, I don't know.
all right.
My family's going out of town, so I get the house to myself again.
That'll be
But either way,
nice, but
I'm tired, and I haven't eaten anything yet. You got stuff to do. You got schoolwork to catch up on.
no, I've already done my schoolwork at least for today, but I got 4, but I haven't eaten in 4 hours, and I still gotta take a shower and pack my lunch for tomorrow. So, as always, thank you all for tuning into another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Bagger from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha Dwella from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we're saying peace out for now, and we hope to see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
See ya.